All right, so here we go. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. If you don't remember it, it's written over there, okay? They've also got the order of operations right in the middle of page 16 in a little notebook-looking sketch thingy. It's in gray, and it says noteworthy to the left of it. Anytime you see what looks like a spiral notebook, you can expect that you're going to use that, okay, later in life. Flower flag. This is kind of cool. It's something they do in different places. This thing here is kind of neat. Flower flag. Hope, please read me that paragraph. Flower flag. First page of the lesson.
Okay. There are about 2,000 plants in each of the 50 stars of this flower flag. There are about
64,100. Okay, they list it out for you, and they tell you each chunk. So in the 50 stars, so I'm going to just kind of break it down for you. This is example 1. I'm going to use their example just because it's a nice example. In example 1, we're figuring out the plants in the flag. So we got the blue region, we've got the stars, we've got the short stripes, and we've got the long stripes. So first of all, there are the stars, and the stars tell me that there are 2,000 plants, wow, per star. How many stars are there? Hope you know there's 50 stars, just like there are in our flag. 64,100 plants per short stripe. Okay? If you don't know how many short stripes there are, it tells you. Short stripe. How about an E there? There's 7 of those. And there are 106,700 plants per long stripe. Okay, long stripe. They tell us how many long stripes there are. There are 6 of them. Does everybody see where I'm getting the count of the stars? It's in the paragraph she just read to us. The last thing they tell us is the blue section itself, and there's one blue section, is 198,000 plants. Stay with me. In order to figure this out, I need to know if there are 2,000 per star, how many plants are there in 50 of them? If there are 64,100 per short stripe, how many are there in 7 of them? 106,700 per long, and there's 6 of them, and then there's one blue chunk. So we're going to use the order of operations to figure this out, okay? And it starts like this. We're going to start right here. There are 50 stars at 2,000 plants each. There are 50 stars at 2,000 plants each. And the short stripes, we're going to add to that. There are 7 short stripes at 64,100 plants each, to which we're going to add the quantity of long stripe plants, 6 long stripes at 106,700, and we're running out of room. Last thing. Yes?
The blue is 198,900.
Oops, thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that, Sarah. Last chunk is the blue, 198.9. Yeah, I'd be wondering why I got it wrong. 198.9, because there's only one of them. Okay, and that would give us our sum. But in order to do that, you first need to use the order of operations to figure out different things here. In the order of operations, and if you don't know, it's above Chris and Noah's head, parentheses first. Well, this, there's nothing to do within it. Next, because 2,000 is just 2,000. Exponents. No exponents in any of this. But next, it's multiply and divide from left to right, correct? So the product of 50 and 2,000 is 100,000. To which we're going to add the product of 7 and 64,000, which hopefully is 448,700. To which we're going to add the product of 6 and 106,700. 40. Finally, we're going to add this straight down. There's nothing we need to do to that. We don't have to multiply this because there's nothing to multiply it by. There's only one blue stripe. Throw all those numbers into your calculator next, because the next step is to add and subtract from left to right. So if you plug all this into your calculator, you're going to end up with 1,387,800 plants utilized in this particular display. Okay? And it's kind of cool. If you look at it, you can see the houses in the background. I mean, the houses are tiny. This flag is way, way huge. Multiple football fields, I would say. That's example 1. Okay? I can do a simpler version of this. Like, let's just say I am giving meals to multiple people. Okay, this is another example 1. And I need to know what you guys want, who the people are. Let's just say 2 of you want burgers, which are $10 meals. And
Turn your cursor to the office, please.
3 of you want hot dogs, $8 each. Okay, there's only 5 of you in this particular scenario. If I wanted to know how much these meals cost altogether, prior to me adding anything, I would multiply. And in the end, I would get $44 for the meals that I just described. Okay? That's a simpler thing, but you would use it this way nonetheless. Okay? Please be advised, on the top of page 17, everybody on page 17 now, you don't have to flip to get there, but it's the green word grouping symbols. Everybody should be looking at it. Top of page 17. It says grouping symbols include blah, 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 blah. Okay? Parentheses, brackets, and fractional bars. Okay, and I wrote those up there, but I want to show you what they look like. Okay? I am going to give you my own example 2. Remember how I said I don't intend to read to you? Well, we had to read together on that flag one because that was an excellent sample. But I am not going to read to you their example 2. I'm going to do my own. So, everybody should be ready to copy. My example 2 says this. Same thing you got to do though. Evaluate the expression. Okay, here is the first one. It's not the one in the book, it's mine. I'm not going to read to you. It looks like this. 3 times 7.4 plus 2 and 2/10. Based on the order of operations over there, you're going to do grouping symbols first. Okay, that is this section right here. We're going to add together the items 7 and 4/10 with 2 and 2/10.
Can you just change to the office, please?
Okay, that's what that says. You're going to do that first. So you should have come up with 9 and 6/10 if you did your arithmetic correctly. Okay, 9 and 6/10. Second, you're going to do any exponents which you don't have. So we're going to ignore that step. But we are going to do the third step, which is multiply and divide from left to right. When a numeral is listed in front of another number, even if it's in parentheses, that says multiply. You guys have already seen that. So this is what we're going to do next. If you plug that into your calculator, you should end up with, I think 28.8. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
28.8 would be your answer. So we've just evaluated this first item. We handled the grouping symbols, no exponents, so then we multiply. Here's letter B. It's going to be similar to yours in your book, but it's different. I'm not going to read to you. Most of you might not recognize that that division bar is also a grouping symbol. Okay? That is a grouping symbol. So we are going to do the items that are grouped first. And I'm going to explain what that means. 23 and 5's difference is clearly grouped together up here. And if you found the difference, you would end up with 18, right? 18 is the simpler version of 23 minus 5. On the bottom, if you add together 4 and 2/10 with 4 and 8/10, you end up with what, 9? 9. Okay? We still don't have any exponents, so we're going to go to the third step, which is multiply or divide from left to right. All we have here is division. This literally means 18 divided by 9. Okay? You might always think of this as a fraction, but the other use of this, and the more often used, is division. Your answer for that would be 2. Following the order of operations is going to be critical to your success in these equations, in these expressions. Letter C. My letter C, it's not the books. This one is a little bit more difficult, but I promise you, if you follow the steps that I am giving you, you will do it just fine. Okay, it looks like that. 10 multiplied by the sum of 6 and the product of 8 and 2. Okay? Rule 1 is grouping symbols. Are there grouping symbols? Yeah, there's actually 2 levels of grouping symbols. So you do the innermost first. The innermost first. 8 times 2 is the innermost grouping symbol. So you work from inside out. 8 times 2 is 16, am I right? Gosh, I hope so. Okay. Are there still grouping symbols? Hope so. If you guys don't see them, then we need to wake up. That's that. Notice I'm still ignoring this 10 times because I have not completely extracted the simplest form of my grouping symbol, but I'm about to. Am I 22 in it? I think so. Next step is exponents. Ain't got none. You can tell Mrs. Doris I said ain't. Then you multiply and divide from left to right. 10 times 22. 220 should be your answer, okay? Does that seem okay to you guys? All right. We've only got, what do we got here? About 15 minutes left. Okay, we're almost done. Almost done. Example 3. I'm going to just scooch this up a little bit. If you did not get everything copied, either get my notes later, get them from a classmate, or rewatch the YouTube video at your leisure tonight. Here's example 3. My examples. Example 3 says this. Evaluate the expression if x is 4 and or y is 9. So depending upon what they give you, you're going to plug in this information. Okay, here's letter A. 10 multiplied by y minus x. Which means you have to not only plug in your information, but then you have to solve it in order. If I use orange for x and green for y, I can make this really clear. So if y is green, it's 9. And if x is orange, it's 4. And we're going to find the difference of 9 and 4 and then multiply it by 10, right? Because we're going to do grouping symbols first. That's this. What's 9 minus 4? Go ahead, Ryan. 9 minus 4? Nope, not going to roll that way. 9 minus 4? Yes, 5 will do it. Last thing, we don't have any exponents, so we're going to multiply or divide left to right. All I have is multiplication. I should have come up with 50. Okay? I'm still using 4 and 9 for letter B that I'm about to share with you. Unfortunately, though, I have to flip to the top. Okay? Stay with me. If you're not copying your notes, when it's time to grade, you won't get credit. Shouldn't have to say that anymore. Okay, x is 4, y is 9, right? I'm going to write it again because I'll forget. X is 4, y is 9. Here's your letter B. Remember, this is not in the book. 3 brackets, parentheses. X squared minus y added to 6. Close brackets. If x is 4, it goes here. And if y is 9, it goes there. Okay? So x is 4, y is 9. Right? 4 gets squared. Nothing else does because the exponent only governs the number in front of it. Okay, this 3 is going to sit and rot for a while because we do the innermost group first, right? Which is this. Anybody know what 4 squared is? Go. 16 minus 9. 7, sorry. 16 minus 9 plus 6. 7 plus 6. You guys notice how I'm kind of working it? Now we're down to here. Still got to use that 3 though. Most of you may not need to write this many levels in this upside down pyramid, and I totally get that, but I do warn you, if you do skip over some of these steps, expect to possibly get them wrong. I have Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 students that have these exact same thing right now. They're starting with this just as a review and they're getting wrong because they're rushing through it. Answer's 39, right? All right, example 4, final thing I'm going to share with you today. Example 4, top of the next page. Sewing. In the interest of time. Sewing. Tabitha, can you on the top of page 18 read me the short paragraph about sewing?
You buy a pattern and enough material to make 2 pillows. The pattern costs $5. Each pillow requires $3.95 worth of fabric and a button costs $75. Find the total cost.
Awesome. So you are making 2 pillows, right? The cost of the 2 pillows is equivalent to, well, first you had to buy the pattern, right? But you only needed one of them because you're going to use it twice, right? The cost of the 2 pillows is equal to whatever the pattern was added to your fabric and button fees, okay? So how many pillows am I making? 2. According to the story she just read, each pillow requires a certain amount of fabric. So we need 2 fabric charges, and we need 2 buttons, right? Whatever those costed. 2 button costs. Okay, still looking on page 18. Ethan, what was the cost of the pattern in the top paragraph there, example 4? He's got it right. Melting over here. The $5 is what you pay for the pattern. The fabric is $2, and what does the fabric cost, Ellie? Try again. That says button.
Oh, $3 and then.
Bravo, my dear. Added to the cost of the 2 buttons that Ellie's already said are 75 cents a pop. Thank you, guys. Okay, using our order of operations, we have to do parentheses first. Well, this parenthesis is complete, as is this one. Then you need to do exponents. Don't have any. Your next step is going to be to multiply or divide from left to right. We're going to multiply this, and then we're going to multiply this. So you should have this 395 times 2 is 790. 790, and I did it a little bit different than they did. I actually broke it apart. The cost here is 790. Added to double that is $1.50. Bring down the $5 that has been waiting patiently. Plug that into your calculator. You should end up with the same answer the book gets. Did you get the same answer? That's right, I'm stealing your calculator. 5 plus 7.9 plus 1.5. I got 1440, and that's what the book says too. Hallelujah. Okay? So you can also double these 2 items simply combined, which is how the book shows it. I just wanted to break it out so that it looked simple enough to you guys. Okay.